Hi, welcome to February 2018. It has been
Hey there,
a while
everybody. Yeah,
since the
welcome back to
last
Chipod
podcast.
Ironicast. This is our November 2016 edition.
Oh, God.
Final Fantasy 15 finally coming out,
Hey,
huh? How
yeah,
about
Final
that?
Fantasy 15. It's
You
pretty cool.
excited?
Yeah, I'm only into the chapter 3, so we'll see how that goes. Also,
I'd like to thank everybody who said such nice things about our live episode. That's the most recent one we did.
oh boy.
No. It's good to be back doing this. Big apologies for the gap, but you know what? We're just gonna pick up and move on.
Yeah.
And deliver a show for y'all.
Woo! I guess maybe first things first, just talking about that big old gap.
Sure. What happened there?
Yeah, what did happen? I mean, shortly after the hiatus in the podcast started, a few months later, like in February, last February, we finished the Uncharted 4 Let's Play.
Yeah, that's right.
And that,
gosh,
yeah, that started a big gap between like actual updates for our LPs, minus like me streaming like 3 times. And that was just because I got really super busy because, I worked at Volition. I was working on Agents of Mayhem, which was launching later that year. And also what happened is I was the associate video editor there, and I suddenly became just video editor because the video editor there, he quit so he could start his own indie studio and start working on his own VR game.
and best of luck to him.
Yeah. I still haven't, I've seen some demos, but I haven't played it yet. And he lives, really close to me. I should actually go and play it. But
And just to head things off, we are going to be taking questions from the chat and the live chat on this episode. But because it's not clear what he can and can't say about Agents of Mayhem, we're just going to have it a big old blanket. Better safe than sorry. That's not something we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, it's not like there's anything like deep dark secrets can't talk about. It's just like, even when I haven't been working there for a while, generally I would always check with my friend Mike, who's a community developer there, just go like, what's okay to say? And I I still respect his work.
Still friends. You don't want to make Mike's life hard.
Yeah, I was hanging out with Mike last night. We watched Waxwork 2. That's a movie. Rage War, which also is known as The Dungeon Master, where Satan transports a computer worker into hell challenges where his talking computer lady becomes a magic gauntlet that shoots lasers.
Naturally.
And
tale as old as time.
And Som Tum, which was a Thai movie starring MMA fighters who, when they eat Som Tum, a food that's very spicy, they Hulk out and destroy things. That one was pretty fun. It was a kid's movie that was far too violent. People were getting shot in the leg and stabbed in the chest.
But
anyways.
Anyway, yeah, let's do our MGS4 debrief. That's something we used to use this show for. Talk about the LP we just finished.
Yeah.
So Uncharted 4, we just finished that. Right?
Uncharted 4. It's like when I first started the LP, because we started working on it not too long after the game had come out. I wasn't sure if I considered 4 or 2 my favorite Uncharted, and now going through it a second time and going with it with you, I still think 2 is my favorite. But I like a lot of the story stuff 4 does. I think my main issue I have with 4 is that they had some really good parts in the beginning that were mainly just story, character, world building stuff, when Nate's in his house and he's shooting stuff with that little ping pong ball gun. That's one of the best parts of the game. It's great, and it's a really fun way to show how he misses the adventure of what he used to do and all that. But also I think the game went a little too far with that stuff sometimes, mainly in they wanted more quiet exploratory stuff, and sometimes that stuff felt like it dragged on for too long, at least for me. And that was my main issue with the game. I guess. It was just that it felt a little too self-indulgent with just like quietly walking around, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe just not paced well enough. I'm mainly just thinking when you go to Scotland and there's just a lot of climbing and looking at gravestones.
Well, what else are you going to do in Scotland? Come on.
I mean, jump and punch dudes.
No, I loved it. I mean, I really enjoyed the character dynamic of Sam.
Yeah.
Any good foil for your hero is going to be great. And like Magic Man from Uncharted 3, not that great a foil.
No.
Like, it's clearly what they were aiming for.
Talbot sucks.
But he's no Sam.
Yeah, like what they did with Sam was like, I know some people just get so bothered that like Sam is never mentioned. Like the fact that he had a brother was never mentioned. Up until then, it's like, okay, yeah, sure. They just came up with the idea for him. But like, I don't really mind because I thought what they did with Sam was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And also like
adding Nadine to the crew. Well, not necessarily the crew, but the cast. That is.
Yeah. I like Nadine, but then I was just also like, oh, it feels like she should have gotten more of like an ending instead of just being like, you guys suck, bye.
You guys suck, bye is the best ending.
But she got more character stuff in, I'm forgetting the name of it right now, but they put out
the DLC. You don't need the name.
Yeah, the DLC that was like, it was big enough that it was like a separate release. It's still like an 8-hour game. I still haven't like beaten yet. I got sidetracked, but yeah, she's like your side character while you play as Chloe in that game, so she gets a lot more time there. But yeah, anything story wise in that game I really liked, especially the whole ending.
Also, did the Jeep, that whole Jeep section,
the Jeep section.
I wish the Jeep had more lines. I want to know its backstory. I want to know how it came to be on Madagascar.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think which Jeep, because eventually you dump that Jeep behind and you just take a bunch of other Jeeps.
Right.
You jump onto other dudes' Jeeps and take those.
A great betrayal.
A guy in the chat does have a good point. 4 had criminal underuse of the best hired goon, whose name was Orca. He was the dude with a mullet and shades in like 3 cutscenes at the end. I loved him. A mullet, but with like the sides were shaved. He was great. He had no lines.
Yeah, that's how people make fake mullets. Like if you don't have the length for a real mullet, you just shave the sides, and so you can sort of get away with it and call it a mullet. That happened in high school a lot.
Yeah. I feel like I saw that happen.
So what else did we get up to over the last year and a quarter?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, I did the Agents of Mayhem for me. That did release. That was super interesting because you know, even before I started working there, I thought I had a pretty decent grasp how the games industry worked, and there was still definitely a lot to learn about, and also just seeing what the release, just what it's like to actually release a game is. It's far more work than you could imagine.
Yeah, I'm piecing together that it takes about 28 hours a day for about 9 months.
Yeah,
and eventually you just die. You won't know you're dead, but you are.
Yeah, it didn't happen to me, thankfully, but yeah, like a lot of people have talked about like, oh, I work in the games industry. We have 80 hours overtime, like mandatory every week of the year and stuff. Like for example, Naughty Dog, people work like 60 hours a week every week. That's why their games come out so quick for the most part. Thankfully, I did not suffer too much of that. There was only like a month-long period where I was working 50 or 60 hours a week because all those videos you see in a game, they're just like short looping videos showing you how a move works. Agents of Mayhem has like 300 of those. And a lot of the stuff, like visuals for all the abilities weren't finalized until further in. So then it's like, oh, we need all of these done and the effects just finished. Can you stay late and do this? So I watched a lot of Samurai Jack on my second monitor when I was doing that. But it wasn't nearly as bad as I've heard it from other people in the industry. I mean,
I'm falling all over myself because of something I got up to in the break.
Oh my God.
Nothing to do with video games. I got a doggy.
Oh, right.
And
how's Moki doing?
She is the reason I was late today.
That was my theory, actually, when I was talking to the chat beforehand, that you might have just been walking Moki or something.
Well, that's how it started. Let me tell the story of what happened with Moki today. She is... Oh God, she's in trouble. Okay, so we went out to the park so she'd be nice and sleepy during all this, right? And then we started walking back, and now that all the snow is melted and the sun is shining, she loves to explore, and there's an area of the park down by the fence she hasn't gone to in a while. And I, as a big softie, let her go down there until I noticed that she had picked up about 50 burrs. One of her paws looked like a whole fucking bird's nest. And so I just scooped her up and carried her like a baby inside so I had control over her face to keep her from like trying to eat them, make herself throw up. Because when you're a dog, that's the only appendage you have that can pick things out of your fur. But, you know, there's doors I have to open. There's times when I can't control her face. So she does start squirming and being curled up in kind of a ball. Now they're going from her paw, up her leg, to her belly, to her three other paws, to her face. And I just burst down the door. And luckily, Elena hadn't left for work yet. So now she's late, but that's okay. Because she was holding her face while I was like trying to pull them all out. And I got some scissors. And so Moki has some much less fluffy patches right now. Because that's really the only way to get some of these out. And now I got nearly all of it, it looked like, but when I stood up and got on the call, and now she's underneath me doing like finishing touches, and I was just reaching down to try and get one of these bits of foliage out of her fur, and then I knocked my face against the microphone and my headphones fell off. So if I haven't been very attentive lately, I'm sorry about that.
No, that's fine. I figured it was a dog thing.
She's in trouble.
Oh, gotta go in dog jail.
The thing she did to get her in trouble, I think, is punishment enough. So there's really nothing to do about it.
Yeah. Oh, that's rough getting burrs out, though. But
so that's been the last June, 8 months, almost 9 months of my life.
Was Moki like a tiny baby puppy when you got her? She was, right?
She was a year. They estimated a year.
Okay.
So she was about as full grown as she was going to get when we got her.
Still pretty tiny.
But still very young, very energetic.
Oh.
She's about 13 pounds, maybe 14.
Okay.
Back down to 12 when we finally get her hair cut. She's such a mop lately. We let her grow out for the winter.
Oh, yeah. Shit, what was I going to say? Right. The game that I was working on. It's chaos, especially like the final like 2 or 3 weeks before release date. And then it's like, oh, the game's out. Phew, we can just like have a really slow like month ahead of us because we don't have a game to work on. But it's like, no, you still do have a game to work on because there's DLC and also there's tons of like support you have to do on the game after it's out because it's like, oh, well, there's still going to be bugs that make it through. Got to patch that. So it was still like madness for like a full month after the game released or whatever. Yeah, it's just way more work than I thought it was because the work just extended beyond the point that made sense to me. It was really surreal though, having a game release and like your name's in the credits and like
that's something.
For anybody who has played it or is ever interested in playing it and wants to know what I did on it, I did quite a lot of the videos in it. Basically, any videos that are looping tutorial videos, I captured and staged all of those, and any like pre-rendered cutscenes for like introducing when a new enemy type appears, I did those cutscenes as well. except for like the big splash image that appears at the end. That was a UI artist who made that. I worked with him to make that stuff. Although the UI, the splash thing was made based on rough designs I had made in After Effects like the year beforehand. It's a little different than original plans I had for it, but that would have involved like getting the writers to write more things, and they were already super busy. But basically, it was 'cause part of the inspiration for Agents of Mayhem was that it was like, you know, kind of taking aesthetics and making jokes about G.I. Joe. So my idea was when enemy types got introduced, and it would, you know, freeze frame on them doing a cool pose and all that. On top of showing their name and like a little written sentence about them, it was also going to have those fake stats that would be on the back of the little trading cards you would cut out of the blister packs of G.I. Joe action figures. This was the idea I had,
and
but
then it
that
would
didn't get put in.
end with them telling you how to sort your recyclables.
Yes. But originally, yeah, there were going to be like some fake stupid stats. The ones I had for placeholders, like the first one was like guts and then brains, and I think the third one I made was gusto, how much gusto somebody had, and that was an in-joke in the studio for a while, but it didn't get in just because at some point it was just like, oh boy, we need to get these done. Yeah, there's like a dozen or so of those cutscenes. It was weird how I had to animate them because I didn't have access to any type of cutscene editor, so it was entirely me tricking the AI into doing the actions I wanted them to do, which is really weird, but I made it happen. The one for the Snipe Trooper is probably my favorite because it's got stupid shaky cam zoom in it, like it's a Bourne movie. But yeah, Ages of Mayhem. Weird to work on it. Weird to like have it released and all that. Obviously, I don't work at Volition right now, and somebody was asking in the chat if I had found another job yet. Not yet, but I've had some pretty promising interviews in the past week. So
yeah.
And like with the Patreon and all that, it's like helped me keep me definitely like afloat. Like I'm fine. Nobody has to worry about me money wise or anything. I am super duper fine actually. So.
But if you did want to start subscribing to the Patreon,
I have been thinking of like changing the rewards around a bit and adding some new stuff. I've said this before, but I've been thinking like at least for like voting for like what I stream when I start streams. Again, I was thinking just lowering that to like $1 lets you vote on that, and $5 would be the checking out, being able to see this podcast, because we're doing it live today, but normally it's you get a secret little thing.
Our January special is in February, but hey, it's also our November 2016 episode at the same time, so that's not so bad.
People have also been wondering if I would ever LP Agents of Mayhem. I don't think I'd ever do an LP of it, but at some point in the future, yeah, it'd probably be fun to like talk about what it was like to work on that. Especially because I know so many people still who worked on it, so that I could probably get them in on it too at some point.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
I mean, technically, I've already done a little bit of that. The last couple of streams I did after the game launched for Volition. We were just like playing through the game and people were talking about what it was like to work on it. So there were only like 3 of those though, before like the big layoff happened in the studio. So but yeah, youtube.com/VolitionTube. That's where all the streams I did for Volition are at. But anyways, yeah, that's what it was like for that. That was a lot of last year for me, basically until October. Until October, that was my world.
Yeah. But even in the middle of that, we managed to do a second Gextra Life.
Yeah, Gextra Life was a lot of fun.
Gextra Life 2, I mean, bigger and better in every way, I think.
Yeah, totally.
We gave away better prizes. I mean, that's debatable. The Gex plushes from the first year.
The Gex plushes were really good. So something I've been contacted by a few, fans of ours before about like doing like art ahead of time for it. So I'm gonna like hit them up when we get a little bit closer to planning that stuff, because a couple people
is to be a Gextra Life 3, definitely.
Yeah, a couple people have offered to like do illustrations for like either prizes or for like a big poster for us. That'd be cool to like have some cool like a pre-made poster ahead of time, and then maybe maybe still do the fan art poster as well, because that's what we did for the last Gextra Life. It's really big.
But anyway, in case you missed both of these events, it's our extra life stream. It's the two of us and Voidburger and my wife Elena. And we all stayed up. And this time, the lineup, instead of the entire Gex series, was it 31 or 32?
It was like 32
different games with animal protagonists.
Yeah.
And those are all archived, of course, on our channel. You can check that out. But more importantly, it raised over 35, right? Over $35,000.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So like a nice like $4,000 boost from the year before.
For Hurley Children's Hospital in Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
And so I already know that my personal goal, if and when we do it a third time, is that 35 total, so that all 3 years combined will get us into 6 digits. That's I don't know if that's what we're gonna set the like page goal, but that's the goal in my heart.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, I would, as long as nothing's like stopping us, I would love to do it again this year, because it's I don't know about you, but like the second time around we did this, like wstaying up for 24 hours straight was not hard at all. The first year it was difficult. There is a part when we were in like the Greek level of Gex 3, I was fading really
part
hard.
Of that is just the Greek level of Gex 3.
The Greek level's so confusing and so bad. Like even if we weren't sleep deprived, like it would have been so hard to navigate that piece of shit level. But yeah, the second time around,
if
like,
you want to check,
go ahead.
Yeah. If you want to check out the highlights, I mean, Cyberswine. Yeah. Who expected Cyberswine to be as fun as it was?
God, Cyberswine. I almost feel bad that it was the first thing. I almost
Jaws.
wish.
Jaws was
Jaws.
Great.
Yeah. Frogger.
I mean, a lot of the most memorable ones are still from like the daylight hours before we, because your brain is only supposed to hold so many things at once.
Yeah. But yeah, Cyberswine absolutely probably the best part. Jaws is incredible. It's like actually an okay video game. I was really fond of Frogger. Frogger was pretty weird.
Oh God, Frogger. Fucking Frogger.
Tokyo Jungle was good just because the Pomeranian died inches away from being able to mate.
Yeah. Apparently, drinking water also brings down your hunger.
Oh, huh.
So, like, if we knew that, the Pomeranian could have survived long enough to procreate for the next generation.
What a bummer.
If we only knew.
Yeah, that was nice too. That this time around we had a couple actually good games in there. Like Tokyo Jungle seems like it's actually pretty cool. And then I don't know if I'd say Cyberswine is good, but it is super unique.
And just variety's sake, right?
Yeah.
Even if everything was Alfred Chicken. Well, maybe not if everything was Alfred Chicken level, but still.
Yeah.
You have something new for your brain to latch on to.
Yeah. I was still happy to have Alfred Chicken there, because even though it was fucking awful, just the trivia of that awful, creepy, cursed phone call promoting the game. Help me find my girlfriend.
But no, that was good.
Yeah.
But that brings us to our last thing that came out under this brand over the break, our Beyond Good and Evil Let's Play 2. Not Beyond Good and Evil 2 Let's Play. No.
Yeah. That
gotta get these things in the proper order.
Yeah. It's Beyond Good and Evil 2 is announced enough for us to go, let's do the thing we said we'd do. And yeah, that
Go
LP
back to the beginning.
That LP just finished yesterday.
This was something we live streamed back in the late spring, I think it was.
No, it was
there are some bits of commentary that very specifically date it.
Yeah, it was like late August.
Oh, that late. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It was like sometime in August when we streamed it like over the course of a month. I think just most of August.
And then you went off into the lab to tinker, subtitled everything by hand, did some editing, inserted stills and video of things we were talking about when we were talking about them to make the full experience.
Yeah, totally.
The annotated stream.
Yeah, that was my that LP was also the experiment of, can we do live commentary with little latency between me streaming the game to you?
Yes.
Yeah, and also like the whole editing process of like having OBS now finally be able to record every audio source on a different track, so I can still edit everything as if we had done it post commentary. And yeah, it totally works, which means we might be able to LP some games, otherwise I may have not chosen, just because some games are better playing live.
Do you want to make an announcement, or do you want to leave that vague and mysterious?
The funny thing is, making an announcement, it could be a couple things, because we've talked about a couple things we want to do.
The one we already started.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's just announce it.
All right. Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yep.
It's got a couple videos in the can.
Mm-hmm. At the same time, we're also recording Metal Gear Solid 5. Like, Mario will definitely start after or like in the middle of Metal Gear Solid 5.
And if you want to talk about tonal whiplash,
folks,
yeah.
It's I can't wait until we get to that early episode in the LP of MGS5 with the guts. That's something.
But yeah, we've had a great time recording Metal Gear Solid 5, actually.
Yeah. It feels a little rejuvenating doing MGS5 because we haven't done Metal Gear in so long, and it just feels like with Metal Gear games, it's so easy to say shit on top of those games.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
There's just so much shit.
There's just so much shit. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 is pretty far along. Well, not far as in progress in the game, but as far as updates go, yeah, we're almost up to 20 updates. And Mario, we only have the first 2, but like that game's really easy to record because it's fucking Mario. So it won't take long to get more of those.
I've learned something incredible. I don't have a good Mario voice.
Oh, I don't
Mario
have a good
voice is very bad. And it's like the one voice that everybody has is the Mario voice.
Yeah, I don't have a great Mario voice either. Which is a shame. But maybe, it takes practice. We'll develop one over the LP.
That's true. That's true. These things take time.
I think both of our Snake voices, have evolved over all of the LPs as well. So
yeah. And so has Snake's voice.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody in the chat going, "Oh no, potentially the last MGS LP." Yeah. I mean,
maybe. Have you tried Survive yet?
I haven't. I mean, I played the beta, but the beta was just like the multiplayer mode, and they did a really bad job advertising the game has like a full-on single-player mode with a story and everything. I haven't played the single player, but I've seen people play it, and I've basically like just gone through all the cutscenes already. It has a couple interesting things, but it doesn't. It looks like an okay game that, aside from referencing Metal Gear stuff and playing like similarly to the Phantom Pain, it doesn't feel like very Metal Gear. Even though they try at a couple times, like it's they open the game with like 30 minutes of cutscenes, and it feels very Metal Gear there. And like there's a guy who's trying to recruit you whose name is Good Luck. And that feels pretty.
That's on brand. That works.
That's very on brand. But yeah, it just doesn't look great. I maybe I'll pick it up later, but the most interesting thing is like, okay, it's like a zombie survival game. The most interesting thing about it for me is that they had Masahiro Ito design the monsters in that game. He's the guy who designed the monsters for Silent Hill. So like, okay, that's cool. And it's like, but they're just like normal zombie guys. But then later in the game, plug your ears if you don't want to be spoiled. There are bigger, like more like Lovecraftian sized monsters that are all weird and cool looking. and it's just like, it's really foggy, and you just see a super huge, like, 50-foot, like, weird monster thing just walking around. It's all creepy and bug-like. He has, like, really long, thin, like, crab legs and stuff. That stuff's really cool. But they don't do much with it, unfortunately. I don't know.
So we'll see if that's ever going to land on our to-do list. Our to-do list that keeps growing.
Yeah. There's still stuff from even older that we haven't done yet. Like, I know it already got mentioned in the chat a couple times, Mega Man Legends 2.
Legends 2.
I really want to do Mega Man Legends 2, and I really want to do the Misadventures of Tron Bonne. They're both great games. Misadventures of Tron Bonne is great because you can command serve bots to strip all the essential sellable parts off cop cars, which is awesome.
Here's my promise to you. If you ever see us doing Ghost Babble, then you'll know that we're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Or Metal Gear Acid.
We're just doing it for the cash at that point.
Yeah.
Ghost Babble.
I've never actually played that one, and I've barely played a couple hours of Metal Gear Acid 1, and I've never touched Acid 2. I still want to play those because the Acid games actually seem pretty fun. Aside from the part where it's like you get up to a door that needs a certain key card, and you can't open the door until you randomly shuffle that key card into your hand. So you just waste turns waiting for the card to appear in your pockets, and that sucks. But the other stuff is cool. But I mean, hey...
But we were talking about Beyond Good and Evil,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, Beyond Good and Evil. It was fun to revisit that, especially since, even though I've played it so many times over the years, it's been a long time since I had last replayed it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the experiment, I guess, of doing the same game twice, right? Nearly 10 years apart.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, it was right about 9, like almost exactly 9 years apart.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was fun. I don't think I'd ever want to do another remake, but I'm so glad we did the one, right?
Yeah, if anything,
you can say
that's the
everything about the tech problems, and if you listen to it, we sure do. But I think we're just a lot funnier than we were back then. Yeah,
if anything deserved the remake, it's just the first one. The only other one that could potentially, and we had ideas for it that could maybe be interesting, was revisiting Killer 7, but more in just like a revisiting that game based on knowing knowing what happens.
Yes.
Like that's the only other one, but I think I'm fine leaving it stay there. Super Great Friend did an LP of Killer 7 like last year.
It's so good.
Yeah, so
check it out.
Yeah, check that one out. That's cool. But yeah, I still remember I made some fucking like real doll joke at the beginning of the first episode of the original Beyond Good and Evil Let's Play, and it's just like, God.
Yeah, no, and it's also a fun nostalgia exercise because, I mean, we're talking about stuff that nobody, I think, has any idea what we're saying. All the Michael Phelps bits.
Yeah. I mean, the 2008 Olympics were happening, man.
Yeah.
It is funny to see how LPs can get dated like that. Even though I feel like most of our LPs, like, they don't suffer from being dated too much because most of the commentary is just about the game itself.
Right.
Which helps out a lot. But yeah, every once in a while there's like Michael Phelps jokes, or like in the little news ticker I had
also Michael Phelps jokes.
Yeah, the news ticker for the fighting in the baseball field and No More Heroes has Michael Phelps and Brett Favre jokes in it.
Now, was it Brett Favre champion football man, or did this predate Brett Favre dick pic news?
Well, I mean, the No More Heroes LP was 2008. So I think that was pre-dick pic.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was pre that. But yeah. It's weird going back to any of our LPs and listening to the commentary, especially like the first 3 or 4. It's like I feel like every year, like in my mind, like the one where I'm like, okay, this is where we really get good. Like it goes up one more LP each year.
Right. So where are you at? You at MGS3? Is that where you're at?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I think Killer 7's still good. Maybe it's Killer 7, and no more Heroes gets good like halfway through. Maybe
it does. It does.
I think I still enjoy No More Heroes.
I'm gonna really go way back. The mystery game triptych.
Oh no, yeah, those are good.
Beyond Good and Evil and Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's when I was learning how to edit video too.
Those stand up just for that, I think.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah.
I was tweeting idly a little while ago about like what do you do for a 10th anniversary?
Right.
And one of the ideas I threw out is a supercut. And the way it would work is you have to have the like warp drive from those videos right up front.
Oh man.
That's how the supercut works. That's the framing device.
Yeah. Oh, that would be fun to make some kind of supercut though. Because it's like I mean, I know they're out there, but I feel like there are very few like Let's Play groups out there who have been doing this consistently for this long. Like we have, over.
You can debate whether we've been doing it consistently.
Yeah, I mean, over 10 years, and there's almost always been an LP going on. Like there was a small break.
Almost, yeah.
There was a small break between Metal Gear Solid 3 and Blood in the Sand. That was only like 3 months at most. And then like the biggest break was just because of last year when I was working on Agents of Mayhem, and like updates would be random and sporadic, but it was still like at least every 2 weeks there's an update. But yeah.
One odd thing with Beyond Good and Evil is we played it when it was almost new, right? It was only a couple of years old.
Yeah, it was
still
only
in that generation.
Yeah, it was only 5 years old at that point, and we had just started.
Yeah, the generation had just closed.
Yeah, basically. The generation had just closed. Like there was still, big games for the PS2 coming out. Like Persona 4 came out that year, and like that year, the year before, God of War 2 came out in the PS2. So like it was the very tail end of the PS2. So like, yeah, we were still kind of in that, used to that generation.
And the reactions were commiserate with that, like, oh, I really loved this a little while back, and oh wow, this is a great sleeper hit I missed.
Yeah.
But now people who are seeing it from the first time, like, y'all got to remember what it was like back in the day.
Yeah, there's a couple of comments really early on that I thought were pretty amusing to me in that there's dialogue just during normal gameplay outside the cutscenes, and somebody asked in the comments, like, oh, is there a bug because their mouths aren't moving? It's just like, no, lip flaps didn't happen outside of cutscenes like back then. Like almost never. There are very few examples of that happening. And that was something I thought that was pretty funny. There's some other stuff too that was just like, no, that didn't happen in games back then.
No, I'm thinking about it because I just rewatched the final video when it came out because I don't know, I'm an egotist maybe, whatever. I think the story's a lot better told than it appears to be, or even that we were saying at the time during the stream.
Oh yeah?
Because in a literal sense, no, it's not. These things come out of left field and they are very sudden.
Yeah.
But you can learn so much just from the visual design, or rather you can infer, you can extrapolate so much from the visual design and from the small touches that, yeah, they clearly wanted to have more things and more bridging elements, but it's all there. It's all pretty much there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because like the things I still, the main things I still really like about Beyond Good and Evil haven't like aged a bit for me, and that was mainly just the visual design. The music is still the best. I still just like the world, even if they don't do a lot of like actual world building for the most part, just the look of it and like the amount of time you are in like the city, going back and forth in there makes it feel pretty lived in. And it's just things like that like there are some games I really like just because they use repetition of certain places to make you feel like safe and like cozy in them. Like,
and just the personality in every character. Like if you go side by side, we make very similar jokes about a lot of the same people, even if they have itty bitty tiny parts.
Yeah.
And that's because those itty bitty tiny parts still communicate a lot about the type of person this is. Like there's still, they feel real in like that. I don't know. This person is in a Coen Brothers movie for 30 seconds way, where that's still like, I get your deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the like replaying it again. Like, you know, we encountered a couple of those bugs that I mentioned. I foreshadowed them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, those bugs have been there, and it doesn't really harm my enjoyment of the game. But that's just because I know what to look out for now. Like, you know, if I just soft lock myself in that one save file, I'd be like, fuck this, and never play it again, probably. But like the things that, like, you know, after not playing it since the HD release came out like 7 years ago. Oh God. Was at this point, like, the stealth feels super old now.
It does. It does.
Like the like.
I mean, it is. So
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, the stealth is definitely the worst part of the game, which is a bit unfortunate considering, you know, the dungeons become more stealth focused, especially the third one. But like the combat's just serviceable. It's fine. So really, it's just the running around stuff that's still like the best part. And that does lead me to think that, you know, they're making Beyond Good and Evil 2, which is a prequel, and it still makes me kind of wish that it was just like a Zelda game. Basically,
I mean, the puzzle design, the few intricate puzzles you have are really smart and really like logical.
Yeah. I mean, I do. Yeah, any of the puzzle stuff is pretty fine too. Like all the stuff you do with Paige's boots to knock stuff into the air to, you know, hit other objects with stuff is fun. Even just like the super basic stuff where it's just like, oh, you got to move that, you know, that weird valve or whatever, and Jay just, you know, props herself up with her feet in between the wood beams. Even though like that's not a puzzle, it still feels cool that she's doing that. That it used to remind me of Splinter Cell, because that was one of Sam Fisher's moves. He would jump up and do the splits and prop himself up by doing the splits on the walls.
Sam Fisher, the man of a million moves. The million move man.
Splinter Cell's dead. I think. But yeah, that some stuff has definitely aged a lot more, and I can understand people not enjoying playing it now just because that, you know, there's different standards. But I am a person who will play the oldest, jankiest games as long as there's some type of quality I can appreciate in it. So I'm not one of those people that gets annoyed at clunky shit, unless it's like a new game and it's like, you know, we've advanced past this. Please, God, please. But yeah, is there anything else about Beyond Good and Evil we want to say?
It's always fun to come back to. And I'm glad now we have a good LP of the game.
Hooray!
To our name.
It's I always wish I still had like the original audio recordings of our really old LPs of like the commentary, because I just always want to see like how much better could I clean them up now, like especially the first one that just like, I mean, Beyond Good and Evil was possibly beyond repair just because I had a shitty microphone that wasn't grounded and needed to be in like a preamp or something or whatever. So it just had this awful in the background all the time. Like I could get some of that out maybe, but oof, it was a bad mic. Do you still have that shitty not super shitty, that black stick Logitech mic we used for years?
Yes, I do. I still have the black stick mic.
I feel like I still have mine somewhere, but that was, man, we used that for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice to revisit Beyond Good and Evil.
So, I mean, I've also been doing things, you know.
Yeah, you've been doing like content wise, you've been doing way more than what I've been putting out for last year.
I have like, apparently you've been holding me back all these years because now I am flying free into the sun like Icarus.
Usurping me.
I think History Honeys was live back when we were doing this show monthly, back before the big break.
Yeah, History Honeys was still going. Yeah.
But yeah, it's still going. We haven't missed. This isn't true. We took a holiday break this year.
Okay.
But I just edited episode 46, going up on everybody's podcatchers on Tuesday. Really happy with it. That is a history show that I do with my wife, and we alternate who's like teaching the topic.
Mm-hmm.
So we take turns outlining and sharing stuff we learned. Tuesdays has a surprise twist at the end during the sum up portion, and also is full of surprising callbacks to earlier episodes. So like, I was not expecting it to have continuity basically with previous episodes. But about it just over a year ago, we launched a second show, the two of us, called Sex Archie, which is a Riverdale recap podcast. And so yeah, Riverdale, the CW melodrama about the Archie comics characters living in a land of murder and drugs and maple syrup.
Right. Is there
is
there a cult in that show?
What's that?
Is there a cult in that show? Have I?
Elena is convinced there is a cult in the woods in this show.
Okay, maybe that's what I was hearing her say that stuff then.
And we share our predictions, and just about every episode she's like, okay, here's how this proves my theory that there is a cult in the woods. However, they are making a Sabrina show. It was going to be a straight up spin-off, but now that it's picked up by Netflix and not the CW, I don't know how that's going to go.
Okay.
However, the cast they're getting for it is killer. It's so good. But yeah, we have an episode for every episode of their show, and plenty of others where we talk about things like the 90s made-for-TV movie, which is one of my favorite episodes because, God, that movie sucks.
Wait, there's a made-for-TV movie of Archie?
They did. It's called To Riverdale and Back Again.
Oh, right.
Or Return to Riverdale, depending on if you are talking about the VHS release title or the actual like TV title.
Okay.
And it's set 15 years later after graduation. It's the 15-year reunion, which is not a thing schools do, but whatever. And it sucks. It just sucks so bad.
It's weird because like I had no idea really that there were these other forms of Archie that were like different takes on it, or Archie, but later on, like growing up, I always thought Archie was just fucking Archie. You bought it at the grocery store, like while you're waiting in line, and like he was always the same age, and like I thought that was all Archie. Like I thought it was like because it always just seemed like the same stuff, that like they had some kind of mandate where it's like he can never be something else.
Yeah, I mean, after 75 years, you got to stretch your legs, right? I mean,
right.
You could say the same about Batman, but even Batman has Elseworlds, and
that's true. Yeah,
even Batman has Beyond.
Batman Beyond.
Oof.
Oh, sorry, dog
baby. Yeah, I'm still picking junk out of my dog's fur.
Oh my God.
Damn it. But that's been a lot of fun. And also the 6 Feet Under Mouse Guard campaign was conceived and launched, and we are starting our 3rd season on it. Wow. Not like seasons as in a show, but like spring, winter, fall season. Because that's how that game system actually measures time.
Okay.
Good girl.
Yeah,
that's great.
All that
so
stuff. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say all this stuff I've been meaning to like catch up on or listen to more, but like unfortunately, when I do video editing, I also have to listen to the audio, which is just the fucking worst. I can never listen to podcasts when I work because I have to listen to other shit. It sucks. Oh, I want to listen to more podcasts. Alas.
But yeah, I'm really, really happy with the 6 Feet Under Mouse Guard. We have 7 players divided between 2 patrols, and that lineup changes from season to season. which makes a fun dynamic when you learn a lot about how a character and how they interact with, characters A and B, but then, now how is that going to carry over when they're with C and D, right?
Right.
And it's so good. It's so good. Like, it's hard to talk about because let me tell you about my D&D character is the most boring thing in the world. And I know that. So I'm not going to try to do that. But let me just say I'm very pleased with how it's going. And my players are the best players.
Aw.
And after we're done here, I'm recording another episode this evening with them.
Nice.
And I can't wait.
Nice. It's I've been meaning to get more into like role playing and tabletop stuff because like so many people I know are playing it now. And I feel like I have just like completely missed this train for the most part. Like I've participated a couple times, but
I one idea we had, or that I proposed and you said was pretty cool for the weekly Volition streams. Like, what if I take the train down and run all out of bubblegum?
That would have been pretty rad actually, because a lot of people at Volition love to do tabletop and role playing stuff. There were a lot of like older dads there who grew up on that shit too. So like they were like every lunch break, people were playing that shit at Volition. So yeah, if somehow I'm ever working there again, or I'm working at some other place that does streams and people like do that shit and also is close enough by, yeah, totally. I that was something I still really wanted to do, but I had a 6-month-long stream promotion campaign to do. Oh boy.
These are the things that happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, while I'm doing plugs, you can hear me on the next episode of Pat Trek guesting, talking about Galaxy's Child. That's the episode where Leah Brahms comes to the ship, who is the lady that Geordi made a holodeck sex doll out of.
Oh, right. I remember that episode. Oh, yeah. That episode's fucked up. Oh, there's so many.
And on Tuesday,
episodes.
I'll be streaming with Roll20, playing a Breakfast Cult, the cosmic horror anime high school RPG that uses Fate Accelerated.
Ooh.
That's a lot of fun words you don't usually hear together.
Yeah. I'm getting a question in the chat. Somebody asking, didn't Volition get bought out by Nordic Games? That was something that happened really recently. So basically, Volition used to be owned by THQ, and then THQ went under because they made the U-Draw, which was a gaming drawing tablet that nobody wanted. And Volition got sold to Deep Silver, and now Deep Silver, which is part of Koch Media, got bought out by Nordic Games, which bought the THQ name. They are not THQ, but they have THQ in their name. And so like Volition's like the same. It's just that now Deep Silver is also owned by somebody. I don't know. It's weird. Anyways.
Yeah. So at least maybe they can go back into the supply closet and break out some of that really old letterhead. Now that the THQ name has been restored.
There was still stuff at work, like up till the day I last worked there, where there was stuff that had THQ stickers on it, like IT, like just a lot of computer equipment had THQ stickers on it with the barcodes for IT. That's how they would keep track of all the inventory. But something else that happened last year. I think it was last year. Yeah, the Let's Play Zone happened.
It did. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the Let's Play Zone is it's a new forum for posting your Let's Plays and also just talking about, games and other shit. It's just lp.zone. That's the website.
Dogs apparently is a real big thing.
Oh yeah, drawing
there.
dogs. It doesn't have a super active base, but the people who are there are, generally always posting there. Starting with Beyond Good and Evil, we started posting our LPs
Starting
there.
with the second half of Uncharted, actually.
Yeah, actually with the second half of Uncharted, we started posting at the LP zone. But yeah, that's where we're going to be posting our LPs from now on, I think. I like it. I like how that message board works. So
actually, that forum and the 6 Feet Under Discord is where we get some of the most active, like, Mouse Guard fans and Feats listeners.
Oh, really? Cool.
So yeah, that's cool.
And yeah, I would like to bring more of our fans over there as well. I haven't really done like any big announcement things like go there, except for just tweeting about it, So
It's free and the software works and people are generally cool.
Yeah, people are pretty nice there. So yeah, if you want to talk about just video games or whatever, or also, post your Let's Plays or just keep up on LPs being done, it's lp.zone.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think if there was anything else that happened. I think those were all like the big major
those
things,
are
though.
Big things.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Mo? Isn't that right?
Oh.
We're good now. I think everything's out of the pool.
Okay,
phew. If she pukes up like half a bird, I swear to God, I will love her unconditionally. That's what I will do.
Oh. Somebody asking how many dogs are in that forum. I'm pretty sure it's a lot. I'm pretty sure there's just a thread about dogs.
That's why they have to keep drawing dogs.
Yeah.
Because there's so many of them.
Another person asking you, are there any one-shot feats in the future?
There is one we recorded a ways back that I can't wait to come out because it is a promo for a Kickstarter that Gnome's doing for their next game coming out. If you remember Laws Out, that engine has been expanded into a much larger book called I forget what he's calling the book, but the engine has been used for many other genres, and I love Laws Out. I think Laws Out is a perfect game, and I'm glad it's getting this deluxe treatment. So we made a cyberpunk music industry revolution, basically, and I cannot wait to share it with y'all. I played a robot music manager who finally heard, a real honest culture, and then was inspired to strike against the corporate oligarchs that made him for his job.
Nice.
It's so good.
Oh, I guess before we take any do just lightning round of questions, is there anything else you want to plug, or anything you've just been enjoying that you want to recommend to other people?
I mean, sure, you should listen to Sex Archie, but you should watch Riverdale. It's dope. I mean, Lady Bird was fantastic. I loved that.
All right. Trying to think. There was one thing I wanted to recommend just because it's starting up again. I'm going to make an anime recommendation.
What?
I mean, it's not a super surprising one because it's really popular. But My Hero Academia is something a lot of people should probably check out. You were the one who convinced me to watch Tiger and Bunny years ago.
I did.
And that was a lot of fun.
You're welcome.
It was a cool interpretation of kind of Western style superheroes, and that's what My Hero Academia is also. It's more about it's hard to condense this. It's more about kids learning to be superheroes and living in a world where there's just a school you go to become superheroes, but it's also set in a world where it's 80% of the entire world's population has some type of superpower now. It's just the evolution of humans. They're called quirks, and they can be super useless or really powerful. It just depends, what your genetics are. But it's super well done.
I'm glad that Magneto was right. I'm very for this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of it you can watch for free on either Hulu or Crunchyroll or Funimation. Eventually, at some point on Funimation, you do have to pay to keep watching it, or at least watch it with the English dub. But yeah, 2 seasons of the show is finished. The manga's way further ahead. But yeah, it is a story where the protagonist is a kid who was one of the unlucky ones born with no quirk.
Right.
And he just dreams of becoming a hero, and there's one hero above them all who is the number one, Superman. His name is All Might. And just early on he meets All Might and tries to become a hero despite the fact that he doesn't have a quirk, and it just goes on from there, and it's really cool. It's the thing that surprised me most was even though it's a shonen anime, people fight, and there's already a fucking like tournament arc. But the tournament arc is actually really good because it's not just like the Dragon Ball Z thing where it's every fight's dragged on for a really long time. But it's the thing that's surprising about it is it's a pretty cool like modern take on hero stuff. It's like the thing that like surprised me the most is like, oh, this feels like it was written by somebody who's like, you know, in the world now today. Was like the villains, this is a small spoiler, but like the villains use they use the actions of like a vigilante villain or whatever to they basically spread his ideology like virally through videos and stuff and use that to slowly change the public opinion on heroes. Because
whoa, man.
Yeah,
whoa, too real.
Because their plan, at least at that point of the story, is to like slowly erode the public's trust in heroes and stuff. So like they stage lots of attacks that like it doesn't matter if like they beat the heroes or not. It's just more about like showing like, hey, we attacked these kids in their school that's supposed to be super safe, you know, and all that stuff. But the characters are just super duper likable, especially the protagonist. It's just they do a lot more character development stuff than I thought an anime would do, because you know generally anime characters will have a couple of traits and that is it. And they just play on that over and over again for jokes. But yeah, it's just really nice. If you ever watch Tiger and Bunny and like that stuff, you'll probably like Academia as well.
Cool. Someone in the chat keeps reminding me one thing I didn't mention. Over this break, I started doing stuff with the F Plus podcast.
Oh, right,
if you're familiar with them. So yeah, they invited me on. They did a 24-hour live stream. I did 2 of those hours, and then I did a couple regular episodes. And they peer pressured me into joining them for F Plus Live 6 in Minneapolis this summer or fall.
Ooh.
And that was a great time. Got to hang out with some of my favorite ridiculous and put faces to voices and the awful things they've said. I set up a brunch for Adam Bozarth and J.W. Friedman. So
oh, nice.
That's cool. Apparently, I'm really good at estimating how many hungover people will arrive and when, because that brunch went fantastic.
That seems like a pretty useful skill, actually.
Yeah,
it's hard to wrangle those types of people.
So I've got like a ridiculous page if you want to see or hear the ones I'm in. There's a video of my reading at F Plus Live 6, which was pretty good. Mm-hmm. It was a dueling WikiHow thing they gave me to read, but I think I'm actually funnier in doing the mic behind the mic for
right.
The Pantom, which is an amazing wet and messy fetish short story. And the character's referred to as the Phantom through the whole thing, but the Pantom in the title.
Oh boy.
And the one after that, which is some spells that actual real Magic spells.
Magic?
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it when it's got a CK at the end.
Oh,
obviously.
Of course. I just always said magic.
So we end all of our episodes, if I recall correctly, taking questions from listeners. Our usual episodes, 11 out of 12 usually, are people who email questions to us so we can prepare a bit. But when we open it wide to everybody who's around, like this time, we do a lightning round. So, folks, that's the reason this intro has been so long. I hope by now you have finished typing a question.
Yes.
And here we go.
Please give us questions in the chat. Oh, also, if you do want to just like already like email us stuff for a later podcast, you should email us at chipcheesem@chipandironicast.com. That's the email we use for questions. Magick, my God, I never knew. Also, while waiting for questions, I should clarify with my...
The lag is a little longer than I was expecting.
It's a little longer, but
they're still taking some time.
I do want to clarify one more thing with My Hero Academia. There is one character that sucks. He is the small joke, like perverted anime character who's been around since the dawn of anime. He fucking sucks. But aside from him, everything else about that show is good. Anyways.
What weapons do you use in Monster Hunter World? Go.
So far, I'm pretty early on in Monster Hunter World. I started off with the dual daggers or dual swords or whatever, and now I'm using the long sword. Those are the only I've tried so far because the weapons in Monster Hunter are actually surprisingly complicated in how they work. So, like, while I would like to use the giant sword spear with shield that also transforms into an axe that fires bullets, I don't know how to use it very well. So...
sounds complicated.
Yeah.
Ice cream or frozen yogurt? Ice cream.
Ice cream. Absolutely.
Oh, gosh, now they're coming real fast.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Do you have any plans to revive Blip Theater? Only one of the videos still exists.
Yeah, I do. There are things on our website that are like the, videos that would get taken down at some places. I do need to re-up them and just fix a couple other broken links and stuff on the website. I will re-up those. Unfortunately, we can't do like Blip Theater anymore because Blip TV doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So like,
if you mean revive as in make more of them, technically impossible. And I'm not sure. We would have to find a nest of some real wild stuff to make another series like that. So it's not impossible, but I don't think it's on the docket.
Yeah, it's not on the docket. I did bring up in a podcast forever ago that like I found out that like lots of weird old style LPs were getting posted on Daily Motion. So I feel like those weird video hosts that not tons of people use would probably be the places to find that stuff. But oh wow, yeah. If you go to Blip TV, like it's just an invalid URL.
Did you like Watch Dogs 2?
I never got around to beating it, but Watch Dogs 2 is far better than the first Watch Dogs. It's a pretty decent game. It still has like some weird tone issues, but they're far less, and the protagonist you play as is actually like likable instead of being Aiden Pierce.
Has streaming killed Let's Plays?
I mean, streaming's definitely far more popular than Let's Plays. Like there's still like quote unquote Let's Plays that get posted that, get millions of views, but it's just, Game Grumps and Two Best Friends and stuff, they will play parts of games. They don't always finish them. They're the ones who get the big views, but like just Let's Plays as a form, I feel is like a lot smaller now.
I think
streams.
You could just say that time killed Let's Plays. The nature of fads killed Let's Plays.
Yeah, I mean, we're still doing them, but...
yeah, at one point they became another thing.
Yeah.
And eventually we started calling it a different thing, and that's just life.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe Let's Plays will...
Oh,
wait, real quick. Maybe LPs will come back in form again because like Twitch is now allowing you to just like upload videos to your channel.
Yeah.
And they have some new feature that's a good idea that doesn't work very well yet, where it's like you upload a new video and like you schedule a time for it to be streamed live for the first time, so people come to watch it all together before it's just like on your channel. So maybe it'll come back because once they figure that stuff out. But anyways, next question.
Will Metal Gear Solid 5 LP have more explicit content warnings? That one video does. I can tell you that.
Yeah. There's no way I can do Metal Gear Solid 5 without putting in some content warnings for the specific videos where those awful things appear. So yeah, don't worry if, you know about that stuff, or, there's certain things that you can't handle watching or whatever.
You'll know which
or don't want to
one
watch.
in.
Yeah, you will know for sure.
And
I am putting
if
warnings.
You don't know what's coming, you'll know which one it's in.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you interested in doing an LP of Horizon Zero Dawn?
Not really. I played all the way through that game, but it didn't impress me that much. It just didn't click with me the way other people
I'm not sure if this is related, but I like that they're back to back. What is your favorite dinosaur? And do you like feathery dinosaurs?
I think feathery dinosaurs are pretty cool.
No, yeah, feathery dinosaurs are great. You know why? Because they are real.
Yeah, they're real.
If you don't like feathery dinosaurs, you don't like dinosaurs, because that's what they were.
I don't know if I have a favorite dinosaur, though.
My favorite species as a kid was Triceratops. My favorite individual dinosaur is Sue.
Okay.
What's happening with the Gextra Life Room?
Oh, right.
Are we talking about like the second year, what they're doing with the stuff? If I scroll down farther, there might be a clarification on this question.
So the first year, like the money raised from the first Gextra Life stream basically funded building an entire like exam room. So that was pretty cool. And the second year around, like about half of the money we raised got used to help build the game room they're making for like the teens at that hospital. We named it the Media Dimension after Gex.
I'm glad you liked that one.
Yeah, I really like that. And it made the most sense because it's like you can say it and it makes sense as to what the room is while also not being like, ugh, this video game reference.
But it totally is.
Yeah.
The Media Dimension is the final stage of Gex.
So yeah, the Media Dimension in the hospital will be where like the video games and the other games are at. I don't know if they've built it yet or if they've finished building it. I'm sure at some point they'll probably send me pictures, but yeah.
Where's the podcast's outro from? Yeah, where'd you get the music for this show?
Oh, all the music I got for this is from... so I have a YouTube partnership that gives me access to like 2 different stock music sites. I think the ones I use for the podcast are from Epidemic Sound, but I'm not sure. They could be older, but I don't remember what that other site's from.
Anything in the world of theater interesting you at the minute? I think that might be directed toward me.
Probably. I did see Phantom last year, though. So
how was that?
It was fun.
What's it like being a suburban mom?
I'm catching up. I'm catching up on all the theater stuff. I mean, it was fun. The guy they had playing the Phantom was a little weird.
I think that might have been acting.
Okay, so he was even more hammy than I thought he was going to be. Basically, like when the Phantom gets kissed at the end, he was doing like body language stuff to show that like he was shocked and didn't know what to do with his arms. But it wasn't just like, he was just holding his arms about it a bit. It was like his arms were straight out at 45-degree angles, like away from him. And he was just kind of like waving them all over the place. And it was really weird.
You got to play to the balcony.
I guess so. I don't know. That's the only theater stuff I've done, though, was I saw Phantom.
I mean, you can hear about my latest favorite theater experience if you listen to, I forget which History Honeys episode it is, but it was I think it was our New Year's special because, we went right at the end of the year. We saw Burning Bluebeard at the Neo Futurarium. And that's so fucking good. It's bizarre. It's based on the Iroquois Theater fire in Chicago. The reason that all doors are required to open in the direction of egress is this fire that killed hundreds and hundreds of children.
Right.
And there's a play about it.
And, right. I remember hearing about this.
Is just you got to. It has to be seen to believed, or maybe read. It seems like a play you could read.
I've been wanting to get into like theater stuff a lot more recently. But the moment it's just like there's nothing nearby that's like interesting.
Bayonetta or Wonderful 101?
Wonderful 101. I don't really like the aesthetics of Bayonetta that much, except for like the enemies. The enemies are cool because like all the angels are just based on the description of like Old Testament angels and stuff. So that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Are you excited for the My Hero Academia movie?
It might be cool. when animes get movies, they're always like non-canonical original stories because they don't want to tread over the actual story that they're using for the TV adaptation. So
Right.
it could be just like a bunch of crap, or I don't know, maybe maybe it'll be good. There's one original episode in the series that wasn't from the manga, and that was fine. I enjoyed it. So I don't know. I have my hopes up, but I'm fully expecting to be just kind of dopey, maybe.
When do you plan to end your prestigious LP career by saying something awful? That's how we started our career, was saying
Yeah, we're going in
really
reverse.
poorly thought out things, and it didn't put the kibosh on us then.
Any dumb objectionable stuff we would have said during our videos, we said at the beginning when the internet was different. But I'm pretty sure neither of us will ever pull I don't even remember these YouTubers' names anymore. We won't pull a thing like any of the YouTubers where it's just like, look at this dead body I found, or whatever. I don't think we're doing shit like that.
Chat did the thing where it jumps.
Oh, that sucks.
People talk about Mineta.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's asking. Oh yeah, you go ahead first.
Is your Monster Hunter cat named Ironicast?
No, I named it after one of my actual cats and made it look like them.
Oh,
that's what I did.
Are you going to put up some more of those promo video riffs that never saw the light of day? I remember you mentioned a Jaguar. Oh right. Man,
the Jaguar one.
I want you to put up that Jaguar one. That was great.
I really need to go back. Like, I have the videos saved, I believe, so even if they got taken down, I could still edit them, and I still had the audio for sure. I really need to edit those. Maybe I should do that soon.
Thank you for
somebody asking you, I'm pursuing a sociology degree against my better judgment. Do you have any advice?
Read a lot and go to class, man.
Yeah.
Go to class, go to office hours. Have fun, talk a lot. Don't be afraid of Marx. He's actually not that bad. You just got to realize that he's speaking 2 foreign languages at once.
Whoa.
Because first, everything was in original German. And second, he was making his own jargony definitions for half the shit he said.
Yeah.
So once he gets past that, it's actually not that bad. I'm going to start screening these.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite LP to make? Oh gosh, there's too many to think about.
That's really hard. Metal Gear Rising was a lot of fun.
That was good. I think the most fun video individually has got to be the first boss fight of Wonderful 101, the one we did live.
Yeah.
In front of a studio audience.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I would also say really high up there is when we did the fight. That was fun.
Oh, the fight lights out the fight.
Yeah.
No, that's. I don't know if I can count it as a full LP, but that is. I still count as the best thing we ever did.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
What's a game you're asked to LP a lot that you have zero interest in? Metal Gear Survive lately, I guess.
I haven't gotten asked too much about Metal Gear Survive, but yeah, if people ask me that, I'd just be like, yeah, there hasn't been anything anybody's like asking like frequently, at least. That hasn't been something we already planned to do or wanted to do. So yeah, there's nothing.
I guess we're saying that the list of things we plan to do is a very, very long list.
It's always a long list because by the time we're done, there's something else that's like that'd be cool too. Somebody's asking what was the hardest LP to make? It's going to be Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah,
it by far it'll be the hardest one. After that would probably be the Wonderful 101 because that game's really hard. And Metal Gear 5 like isn't hard to like accomplish things. It's just there's a lot of planning and recording involved.
Somebody asked if the 6 Feet Under Discord is closed. It is not. Let me go rustle you up an invite link real quick. I can never remember where this is.
Somebody asking what episode of Drunk Metal Gear history ended with the biggest hangover. We recorded them all at once, so there was only one hangover.
That's true. That is true.
There was only one. We did it all in one day.
All right. This link I'm putting in the chat for anybody who wants it is the 6 Feet Under fan Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Boop. Oh, Remove any web addresses and try again.
Oh,
Fucking
what the?
take out the space. There you go. You know how it goes.
Was Drunk Metal Gear a bad hangover? Not for me, at least.
No, not really.
Nah. How do we decide which LPs actually make? I don't know. I just kind of ask you. Does it sound cool?
Have I ever said no?
I don't think so.
I don't think I've ever said, I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think that's happened. I even asked you like for another thing that we might do way later on. I was like, how about this? And you were like, sure, fuck it, why not? And I was like, okay. Because that was the first time I've asked where it's like, I might get a no.
I considered saying no, but I didn't.
Yeah. That's still one for myself where I'm not sure yet. I'll keep thinking about it. Will there be another Drunk Metal Gear history after you've done 5? Sure.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know if it would be worth it, right? Because it's only one game's worth of story.
Yeah, it's only one game's worth of story. And I mean, we'll already be talking about the game on a podcast too when we're done with it. So maybe just get drunk during the podcast.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. Let's see.
When it's built, will you guys do a Gextra Life live from the Media Dimension room? That would be weird.
That would be real weird. I mean,
for one thing, I mean, it would be open 24 hours. It's a hospital, but also it's a hospital.
It's a hospital.
It's full of sick kids.
We raise money for sick kids, but also we say fuck a lot, and that might be weird. We talk about Bubsy and Gex having children, which might be weird. So, it looks like that Discord link didn't actually pop up in the chat, unless you send it to just that person.
Oh, yeah, I got to the chat and that point, and it's like, no, we can still recognize this.
Yeah.
As a
okay. I can't find any options to like go like, hey, just don't stop URLs from being posted.
Does
but
this one work? No, it fucking.
Oh my god!
All right, I'm just gonna read it aloud. Okay.
The algorithm.
Discord.gg. If everybody's ready.
Mm-hmm.
/5 capital N capital K lowercase x capital N capital D. Again, that's discord.gg /5 capital N capital K lowercase x capital N capital D. There you go.
Oh boy. Somebody asked, will Hank the Chog make more appearances? Which I'm just going to turn into, will there be any more Chipawai videos? The answer is I always want to make more Chipawai videos. I just have to wait for the right spark, like inspiration to come. Because I always want to do more of that shit. It's a lot of fun.
Worst game you've ever LP'd? I mean, Watch Dogs. Bam, right?
Whoa.
Like,
what about Rogue Warrior?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Rogue Warrior.
We did Rogue Warrior.
That is way worse than Watch Dogs.
Yeah, Rogue
Watch
Warrior.
Dogs at least works.
Yeah, Watch Dogs is just a competent game that isn't like that interesting to play. But yeah, Rogue Warrior sucks. Rogue Warrior is a bad game. Yeah, somebody in the chat.
And to all the people in the chat saying just tweet the link, I did a few days ago. We talked about that Discord when we were streaming Beyond Good and Evil, and somebody asked if we had a Discord, and I'm like, well, there is a Feats Discord.
Mm-hmm.
And so when that part got put up in the videos, I tweeted out, hey, that Discord I mentioned still existed.
Yeah. Oh, right. The Cabela game was really bad.
Not as bad as Rogue Warrior.
Yeah, not as bad as Rogue Warrior, actually.
And I mean, somebody did bring up the U Testament.
The U Testament.
I don't count that as a game.
The U Testament is an oddity. That's what it is.
I don't think that counts. And we didn't even LP it. I did, but I got halfway through and then bugged an event, and it broke.
Yeah, we just did like 3 videos on it and then died, I think.
Yeah, that is an odd bit of, if there is such a thing. Oh God, I can't believe I'm going to say this phrase. Chip and Ironicus history. I did a screenshot LP once.
Yeah, you did. Did that get archived?
Like I say, half of one, and then that game is so fucked up that I got crucified too early and the game didn't work.
Oh, man.
But I did get pregnant with the third Doctor's baby. So no, getting crucified is not a glitch. Getting crucified is part of the game and eventually a plot element. But I think there's a point where it's too late to just get crucified because you did a crime, but too early to get crucified for the plot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I got arrested for breaking the law. And the game just the game stopped doing the plot.
Oh, I don't want to say I love the New Testament, but I'm so interested in the New Testament. Are we planning on having special guests in any upcoming LPs? I don't think so.
No.
Oh.
One thing that keeps happening is what are your thoughts on Death Stranding and the things we know about Death Stranding so far? They did just announce more cast members.
Yeah, they did. Troy Baker and that, I forget her name. There's a woman on the cast now, too.
There is one woman.
There is the first woman.
I think that says a lot about Kojima. There is a woman.
Oh, boy. I mean, I'm really excited for whatever that's going to be, just because it's the next Kojima thing. If nothing else, it'll probably be really fun, because like Metal Gear Solid 5 is like the most fun Metal Gear to play out of all of them, for sure. I'm really intrigued by all the super vague stuff they showed in all the trailers, but I really hope the next time they do like a major showing, they actually like explain what the fuck it is a little.
What do you do in this game?
Yeah, I would like to know what you do.
What is the action one takes?
Yeah, and I would like to know it doesn't have to be much, but I would just love to know a little bit more like what the actual setting of the game is. Because I mean, there's undead World War II skeleton soldiers and tanks full of guts. That's cool, but what?
That tells me all I need to know.
Yeah, I would just like some actual solid plot details. It doesn't even have to be a lot. And yeah, I would just like to know what the game is actually like when you play it. Because I feel like that last crazy trailer that was put out like last December for the Game Awards was like, that's the last time they can do that before it's like, what is it? Come on. But yeah, I mean, there's like some posts that people have made too with that game where it's like, oh, here's all the things that like if you look closely at it, you can tell how super into Lovecraft Kojima is right now. Because a lot of things are just elements borrowed straight out from his stories, including like in the last trailer, like when Norman Reedus is underwater and he looks up and you just see a big silhouette of a monster going across the surface. Like the design of that monster is like almost 1-for-1 a Lovecraft creature thing.
Yeah.
So I also hope that means the game's going to be full of really scary penguins. That'll be fun.
Ooh.
Oh.
And no black people.
Yup, that's another Lovecraft thing. But yeah, it's like I'm excited, but I can't be like hyped or anything for it because I don't know what it is yet, really.
Yeah. All right, with that is our Chipod Ironicast February 2018 edition.
Yeah.
This one clearly was a whole lot of catch up. If you would like to join us live for our next ones, where we're going to get back to our regimented, more focused structure.
Yeah.
That is a backer tier on our Patreon. And if you just want to chill out and listen to it in your podcatcher, that's how it happens. That's the whole point. It's coming whether you're there or not.
Yeah. Oh, right. If you just want to like, grab the podcast, that would be chipodironicast.libsyn.com. Libsyn. And yeah, It's nice to do the podcast again. I'm thinking since we did this one like the end of the month, we should just keep doing them like close to the end of the month.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's called February because it's about February,
it's
et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for listening, and yeah, we'll keep the podcast going now because I have so much more time. All right.
All right.
See you later,
folks.
everybody.